a teacher, and I'm into so many things. As a matter of fact, I love to be into so many things. And I must tell you that this particular topic for this our conference this season has been something of great importance to me. It is very important for us to know this I generation is a generation that everybody has to find a way to blend into. Okay. I'm going, I'm going to I'm going to ask for your permission to say praise the Lord from time to time. I'm a very churchy person, and there's from time to time I'll make the mistake of saying praise the Lord. So please don't get offended if you hear that. Okay. Okay. My topic, as you can see on the screen, my topic this evening is ways to help children identify dangers online. It is very important for us as teachers, parents, caregivers, or whoever you are that is helping one child or a set of children to navigate through life. It's very important that we must know how to help these children identify dangers online. Children should be well informed about what activities can go on online. Of course, they always see the good side, they see the fun side, but it should be made to also understand that apart from the good, the fun, the enjoyable side of the internet, there are also areas in which, they are prone to become easily lured into things that they never planned to be involved in. We have predators that come online with so many negative intention, especially towards children that are naive and very young, that might not be able to defend themselves and that might not really know the left from the right. So in a lot of cases, because children are so young and they can't do all these things themselves, they fall prey to most of these predators. So, but I believe that as we been there for them to have them guided, they will definitely be in safe hands if you can, tell them some of these things that I'm going to be sharing today. Okay. Um, I'll go to the next slide right now. Uh, Okay, what's going on? Okay, okay. Now, the next one, on the next slide, you can see that not everything that glitters is gold. I think if you can just put out this in the minds of children, it will really, go a long way to remind them of, what they are supposed to be conscious of. Not everything that glitters is gold. A lot of times, so many things appear very attractive. So many things appear like you should go close and, put yourself in a position to be able to interact with those things. It's also the same with human beings. Some of us, we look so good. We, on the outward appearance, they just appear to look like they're people without any negative intention. We must let children know that it's not all that glitters that will be gold. That means there must be a level of carefulness. Every child must be told to be very careful, not just even online in this case now. In every place they find themselves, they must be very careful. Children must be very careful. They should be careful because of the people that they're going to be meeting at different places. And not just places that they go physically, but also online, So that's very important. Please have it rooted in the minds of the children. Not everything that glitters is gold. Now, what are the signs that danger is near? That's one question you should be able to, ask the children and let them just come up with their own thoughts because they too have their own thoughts. You'd be surprised that a child might mention some things that would be so funny that would not even be related to some of the things that I'm going to be sharing today. So it wouldn't be a crime, because you are there to guide such a child. Okay. So what are the signs? What are the things that will give you a notion that yes, I should be careful. Something bad is coming. What do you see that makes you to be very conscious of maybe yourself, the environment, and even be, suspicious of the person that you're around? Okay, let's look at some of those signs. Now, let me tell you, it's very important to emphasize to children that the predators are just going to be perfectly like regular friends that you have. So some of the features that you have on the screen are the features that these predators will always come with. Then, of course, anybody with a negative intention would never come out and tell you, oh, I have a negative intention, or would try to appear like they really have negative intentions. They're always using deception. Okay, so always emphasize to children, deception is the number one key of predators. Whoever has a negative intention will never, ever, always give a physical appearance that will scare you away. Rather, they give you an appearance that will make you feel like, oh, you're supposed to be comfortable around this person. You're supposed to, feel that they are just, oh, regular friends, and they're just going to be wishing you the best. Okay, for children, always emphasize to them that predators always appear friendly. They always appear friendly. The things that friends will always do to you will always be what predators will do at the beginning of meeting you. Okay, we should emphasize this to the children. Don't expect any predator to come in wolf's clothing. They will come in sheep's clothing. They will appear soft and friendly. They will be nice. They will be caring. They'll ask you, oh, have you been? How's it been with you? How was school with you today? Oh, what did you learn? How is it? They will just show signs that, oh, I care for you. I don't have any negative intention. And they also appear subtle. They are soft with what they are coming with. They cover their intention so well that any person that is unsuspecting will never have an idea of where they are going. Okay, it's like a craft that they have mastered for a long period of time. So if care is not taken, even an adult can be swept off their feet based on what these predators will appear to have as intention. So it's always very important. They appear friendly. They can be so caring. They're subtle. They cover the intention so well, and they can be super nice. And the picture they will paint for you is, I am a nice person. Never see me as somebody that is coming into your life to cause a destruction, or to make you feel uncomfortable, or to make you do what you know by standard that will not be acceptable in any society. Okay, so children must be made to understand this. A predator is friendly, caring, subtle, super nice, and they'll paint a picture of, I am a nice person. Okay. Okay, I'll go to the next slide. Now, a predator is always full of questions. Predators with very evil intentions always have questions on the lips. Where do you live? A lot of times they want to find out. As a matter of fact, when you meet people generally, of course, like I said earlier on, most of these things that they'll be asking you about will be what a regular friend will ask, just because the friend wants to know more about you. So that's why for children, it can be a bit difficult to tell the difference, between somebody that is coming with an intention that is negative and a person that really and genuinely want to be a friend. Okay, so that's why we need to emphasize some of this to them. A predator will always be friendly. They have so many questions on their lips. Where do you live? Do you like me? Do you understand? That's one of the questions that should make a child, take a step back and then watch or try to observe the person in a closer manner. Why are you asking if I like you? Are you from a rich home? You'll be surprised. Some of these predators ask this question. Does your mom know about me? What about your dad? Have you told your dad about me? What does he think? Do you understand? So predators will always ask questions. Oh, what are you going to do today? Where are you going to be? How many friends do you have? Do you normally go outside your house? These are all the questions. They can, they're full of so many questions. And the intention of questioning is for them to know where to come into you. So children must be well informed about this. That once a person is questioning and questioning, be careful. There's a place that such a person is going. The information that you're going to be doling out to such a person will be what the person will use against you. So it's very important. Okay, I move on to the next slide. Now, a predator will always find a way to close in. They try to present an occasion in which you will feel that this person is just a close, person to you. He's just trying to be your close friend. Do you understand? A predator from afar might not be able to really get so, when friends are very close, they begin to tell each other so many things that are very personal. So that's why a predator will make it a point of duty to close in on the person or the prey that they are trying to, find a way around. Okay, so children must be well informed. Predators always close in. They give you an impression that they're going to be your best friend. They want the best for you. They want you to always feel that if anything goes wrong, you can always turn to them. They want to be the core. They want to be your core person, so that whatever happens, they can be the first for you to relate with. Do you understand? That's a very dangerous zone that you find yourself in if a predator is really closing in. Okay, go to the next slide. Now, a predator also likes to seclude the prey. Please tell the children, whoever has a negative intention that wants to bring something on that could be very negative in your life, that person will try to push you to a point in which you'll be separated from other people. Predators always make you be separated so that you wouldn't have to be relating all the things that will be happening between the predator and you. They will try to put you aside, try to make sure that you're not, mingling or relating with other people, so that you don't end up telling them about, oh, this new person that I just met is always this and that and that. Do you understand? So predators have that intention. They want to put you in seclusion so that you don't have to expose what they're doing with you. So, these are things that children need to be very careful about. Okay. Now, the next one is they're always in touch. Predators are always in touch. They're always trying to be in your face. They're always contacting you. It's either they always want to call once they know the time when you'll be alone, or the time that anybody will not be able, to come close to you. They want to call. In your inbox, you'll find a lot of mails from them if they are the type that really communicates via mail. They always send you mail. They send you text messages if they find out that you're not online. All this kind of thing. They're always just trying to make sure that they bombard and they surround you, so that whatever case is, you are seeing them first. Do you understand? So if you have a very close friend that you always see, that you always talk to, you know that when anything happens to you, you know that you run away from others and you want to run to that friend. So that is the image that these predators are trying to create in your mind, so that you are well surrounded by them and you wouldn't think of, probably an adult and another friend that you could just confide in until things really get so bad that you get to a very bad point and you realize that no, this is not supposed to be. And most of the time when it gets to that very bad point, it's always very hard to turn back. So that's why we need to tell the children at an early stage, if they're meeting somebody and the person is always in touch, they should be very careful around such a person. Okay. A predator is always in the habit of asking for secrecy. Predators, people with evil intention, people that really want to lure you into evil things, will always try to tell you, make sure you don't tell your mom. I'm just your friend and I always wish you well. Don't say anything to your mom. You don't have to expose this to your mom. We can always do it together, and then we get to a place in which you're comfortable. I'm comfortable. Don't tell your dad about it. Oh, not even your friends at school. Don't tell them. They don't need to know. We are just very close friends, and let's keep our, friendship very personal. We don't have to tell anybody about us. That's a very big sign that this person is up to something very evil. People that are always doing the right thing will always want you to relate what they're trying to do with you with other. They can even tell you, ask this person if this is, ask your parents if this is okay. So if somebody is not asking you to, inform your parents about some things, that child should be very careful around that kind of a person. Predators always ask for secrecy. Okay. Is always very paramount in their mind. They seek the location of the prey. People with evil intentions always want to know where the, maybe at the beginning of the, relationship that they establish with you, they might not be so pressing about where you're living, but with time they can subtly be asking you, where do you live, what time are you always at home, what time is your parents, is any of your parents at home with you? Okay, do you sneak out of the house in the middle of the night? All these kind of dangerous things they seek to know from their parents. So it's very important to tell a child, do not disclose your location to anybody that you know online. That is not a very close person to your family. The person that you know, of course, your parents have to know the person before such a person can have your location, at any point in time. It's always very important. Predators seek the locations of their prey so that they can find their way to get to that place. And of course, it's always in the absence of other people that could be helpful to the prey. Okay, so they ask you, where are you? Are you in the bedroom? Are you in the bathroom? Are you in the living room? Where is your house? Is your dad at home? Can we meet at a place? Emphasize to every child, never agree to meet up with another person without your parents being informed about it. Never ever agree to such a plea from anyone, even if it's a close friend, because sometimes people that are known to the family can also be dangerous. They can also be predators. We've heard about uncles and even aunties, molesting children. Not only is it done online, people in the house that are family members, they can be dangerous. How much more somebody that you're just meeting online that you don't have any connections with? It's very important that children should be told not to disclose their location. Okay. So how do you help your children? How do you make sure that you can help a child to be guided against all of the signs, or how do you make sure that children can use the signs to make very good judgment about the actions or the decisions that they would take when they meet new people? It's always very important. We need to find out what we need to do. Okay, this is how you help the children. The first thing that I think, of course, a lot of people don't believe in this, or well, maybe it's Nigeria anyway, people believe in it. But when you go to the Western world, it's not always a priority. But I think being a child of God and being a Christian, I think this is strong priorities for parents, for teachers, and for caregivers or guardians or whoever you are, as long as you are in the position to take care of children. Please make it a point of duty to pray for those children. It's always very, very important. Now, in school, I'm a class teacher in school. I always make it a point of duty to pray for the children. Pray for the children. Praying for the children means you're committing those children in the hands of God. Praying for the children, it means that you are protecting the children from some things. Praying for the children is also that you are telling God to grant them wisdom. You can pray about a million things for the children that you're taking care of. So it's always very important. Lord, I pray that you protect these children from all the predators online, negative people with negative intentions that are trying to seek out children that they will use as their prayer. Lord, I'm praying, keep your shield over these children. Grant these children wisdom to be able to know what to do at any point in time that they come across predators. Help these children to keep themselves in a safe environment where such predators will not be able to take them as prey. So it's very important. Number one key, ensure that you always pray for the children that you're taking care of. That said, we move on to the second one. Talk openly with children about their online activities. Children, most of the time when they go online with the mind that they have, with a very good mind. Okay, somebody wrote something. Let me just quickly check it out. Say the greatest fear or danger of these predators is when they are close to home, uncles, cousins, lesson teachers. Oh, okay. Okay. The greatest fear is that those people are close to home, and that's very true. That's very true. They are more dangerous as predators when they are in the home. Because of course they know all the activities going on in the home. They know where the parents are not home. They know when the children are at the lowest point. They know when to attack. So it's always very important, even as the parent, be wary of maybe your sibling that is staying with you, or a nanny that you have, whoever is in your house. Never, ever, ever always think that I should just trust the person completely. Set, like I want to say traps for such people. Set environments that can make you, detect some things about the person. It's always very important. Just loosely try to create an avenue where that person will be able to show signs of something that they could probably do if you're not around. So it's always very important. Thank you so much for your contribution, the person that sends that. Okay, now, like I was saying, talk openly with children about their online activities. I was saying that children, a lot of times, they go online with a clean mind. They just want to have fun. They want to meet a friend. They want to do this. They want to do that without any thought that, they could come across anybody that could be negative. So that's why we as adults, we must make sure that we talk to them. Once the children are at a point where they use the internet, we must always tell them that what they read, what they watch, all these things that they do, they're very, 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 very necessary for them to be careful of them. Who do they communicate with online? Who do they talk to? We can't only talk to children once, on a regular basis, because if you have spoken like 2 weeks ago, and after 2 weeks, sometimes some of the things that you could have said could have, left the mind of the children, because they're young. Sometimes they don't keep most of the things that they hear to heart. So it's very important that we continually talk to them. What do you do online? Who do you have as friend there? What do what thing of yours do you open up online? Do you understand? All of these are very, very, very important. And then tell them, as you mention all of this, tell them what is appropriate. Okay, it's not okay. If you're meeting someone online, it's very important that you don't give out your address to the person. No matter what the person says to you, ensure you do not give your location to the person. Don't let the person know your home. Restrict so many information about yourself. Do not let anything about your home be known. Do you understand? Also ensure that your school activities are not exposed to the person. Just talk on terms regarding things that you have not known the person, for. Maybe you just talk about a particular game. Keep to the game. Do not extend the conversation into something personal. Keep it at that thing that probably brought the two of you together. Because sometimes when the children go online to play games, it's an avenue for them to meet other people. And then that's how, the mingling begins. And as a matter of fact, most of these predators, that's the avenue they use. They know children like game. They like all these funny things online. So they use such things to come into them. Okay, so we must talk openly with the children about the online activities, ask them questions about what they do, and then we should also tell them the things that are appropriate about what they do online. Okay, the next one is keep screens and devices when you can see them. It's always very important. This is to make sure that you're monitoring and you're checking the children. Do not put your screen. A lot of children will just take the gadgets and they run straight into their room. You can't always be doing that as a child. Parents should always make sure, as long as they are home, of course, once they are home, they should always make sure that the children are using the gadgets around them. Sometimes, even if they're not using it around you, just walk into your child's room without making the child know that you're coming in. If the child is up to something wrong, the body language will tell you. Once you open, because that's what I do with my children. A lot of times, I just, I walk into their room without making them know that I'm coming. And then the message I'll get from what they do is how they comport themselves. Or if they try to act like they're trying to hide something, then I immediately know that something is going on. And a lot of the times I ask for their phone. What are you doing? And if I see that they're stammering, I say, okay, give me your phone. What are you doing on the phone? It's always very important. Keep screens and devices when you can see them. Keep your children using the devices where you can easily see them, and watch out to see the reactions if they see you unexpectedly. So you can, have that room to discuss further with them. Okay, the next one is know your parental controls. Know your parental control. A lot of children nowadays have been given so much room to just be exposed to so many things. Well, maybe not in my own words. I've heard people say it every now and then, that most of the time parents are being controlled by the children. That's a very negative thing in this kind of world that we're in. The world is so dark to the point in which parents cannot just afford to let the children be on their own. We are supposed to be their guardian. We are supposed to be the one teaching them the ways of life. So it's always very important that as parents, you know how to help your children. You must control them. And the gadgets that they have, there are parental controls there. Make sure that you set those. It's always very important. We let children know that you cannot be dictating what we do as parents to you. I mean, you came into this world knowing us. We've been here for a while. Maybe we don't know anything, or maybe we don't know the area of gadgets and all this technology, but we know some other things that we know very well can be of use to you, that can help you really well. So make sure that you take the leadership, role in the life of your children. Help them to be guided by the controls that you give. Okay. I'll go to the next slide now. Now, oh, sorry. Okay. Now, the next one, number 5, is know your children's online friends. This can only happen if you're a kind of parent that has established a friendly relationship with your children. As long as you have a friendship with your, a relationship of friendship with your child, it should be easier for you to just sit beside the child and start chatting or start talking to the friends they're talking to online. It's always very important. Know your children's online friends. Watch what your children are watching online with them. Of course, don't plan it, because if you plan it, the children are going to show you what you are supposed to see. They will show you what they really watch. So just, maybe one of the days that they are not expecting anything, just walk up to the room and sit down. Okay, let's see, who are you chatting with? Let's see. Oh, say hello to your friends. Okay, open up your chat box. Let's see. We can do that from time to time. Of course, these children know how to hide some of these things, but of course, we can still do them. And if you regularly do this, one day you will catch such a child if the child is up to something that is not so good. So it's always very important. You know your friend, your children's friend. You watch what your children are watching. Ask questions. Very important. Okay, then the next one is be share aware to protect your privacy. Always be conscious of share, so that your children are not always sharing. They're not always exposing themselves. It's very important, because sometimes some of the websites or some of the sites that they visit just expose. There are some things that they're supposed to look out for to show them that, no, you're being exposed right now. So they have to know those share buttons. They have to know areas in which they need to go if they discover that they're just exposed online. Do you understand? So there must be a consciousness of, your registration online. Then the next one is number 7. It said, keep control of your family digital footprint. What sites do these children go? Are they, are your children in the habit of just busting into everywhere online? They go anywhere, get into anything online. No, 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 it's not always good. Yet there must be a control over where or what websites, what areas your children go into. There must be control. Keep yourself limited. Even when you get online, there's some sites that you get the information that, oh, this is not protected. Let the children be conscious of that. They should control. Once you see that there's something indicating that a site is not protected, they should not bother to get into it. They should just protect themselves. It's always very important. Do not just go anywhere online. It's just like physically wandering everywhere on different streets. That's how children come across people that are dangerous to them. You can't just walk out of your estate and then be walking on the road, a road where we have so many dangerous people. So that's why they have to curtail, the movement online. Very important. The next one is teach your children to keep the location private. I think I've already mentioned that a number of times. Never expose your home or anywhere that you're visiting to anyone that you're not really, really informed about online. Keep your location to yourself. If you're going out, do not tell a group of friends, oh, I'm going to be at the beach at this particular time, or I'm going to this eatery at this particular time. No, 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 no. Be conscious of that. Be conscious of the kind of information that you give out, especially your location. It's supposed to be private. Children shouldn't be in the habit of letting everybody know where they live or what events they are going to or what auntie's house or what uncle's house they are going to. They use it mostly against them. The next one says, keep track of online time. That's very important. Some parents just give the phones or whatever gadgets to the children and they let them keep being on that for a long time. There should be a specific time that each child is supposed to be allowed to be online. It's always very helpful. Children that do not have principles guiding them, they are mostly the ones that fall into the hands of these predators. If you do not always be in the habit of setting guards, putting ground rules down for your children, if you're not in that habit, most of the time, apart from this online thing that we're talking about, most of the time such children get exposed and get into so many things that even the parents will never be aware of. So that's why it's always important. Set rules. What are the rules that are guiding your family? What are the principles that you follow in your home? What do your children already know? That no. My parents have already outlined this. This cannot be done. You can't do that. So they must keep track of online time. If as a parent, well, for instance, in my own home, my children, they already know all throughout this holiday, you can't wake up and get to your phone. You can't even do anything with your phone. After the devotional, you have to read a book. And then when it's around 12 noon, then you can have the room to play on your phone for about 2 hours. After 2 hours, you're back to something that is qualitative. Honest, even as an adult, if care is not taken, you can be on your phone from 5 a.m. that you wake up to 5 p.m. and it will just be like 2 minutes. If care is not taken, you can spend 12 hours straight on the phone and you will not know that you have spent 1 hour. Now, if adults could experience such a thing, how much more children? That's why we must be in the position to guard these children. A well-guarded child, a well-guided child is most likely not to miss his own way. If that child is well-guarded, you will see that that child is not likely to miss it. Of course, there's some exceptions. So keep track of online time for all these children. The number 10 says, be social network savvy. Be social network savvy. This is not to say that you should know everything online or you should become an expert about this online thing. There's some things that are basic or, things that you're just supposed to know in order to maneuver through the computer is always very important. So it's very important that parents or teachers or guardians or caregivers have a good, not well, maybe not so good knowledge, at least ground knowledge about network interaction. It's very important. Be at the point where you know how to handle some things concerning the social network, and then you'll be able to help the children navigate even their own time on this the gadget too. And finally, lead by example. This is very important. Most of the time, children, they don't hear what you say. They see and they do more of what they see. So when you're telling a child, don't spend forever on your phone, and you are sitting there spending forever on your phone, you're telling a child, read a book for some time, and then you are never reading a book. It's not always very good. It's very hard. Like they always say, they say, monkey something, monkey do what monkeys see. Once a child observes that this is what you do, even without telling the child, you will see that the child will follow suit. The child will start doing almost exactly what you're doing. There was a video I watched one time. A little girl just took the mother's lipstick, and a very little girl, she didn't make the mistake of rubbing that on her hand. She put the lipstick straight to her lips and was rubbing it like she'd been seeing her mother rub it over and over and over and over again. So that's from a very tender age, they copy rather than listen. They don't listen most of the time. They see what you do, and that's what they end up doing. So as parents, as guardians, as caregivers, or whoever you are, helping one child or the other to grow or to navigate life, you must always lead by example. Show them what they're supposed to do. Don't just tell them. I hope with these few points of mine, I have been able to convince you and not confuse you that you play a role of helping the child the child that sees around you to be protected from the internet. What now? Predators. Oh, okay. I think that's where I'll be drawing the cut. Thank you so much. Somebody just said, monkey do what monkey see. That's very true. Okay. So I think I'm drawing the curtain at this point. Can I open up for questioning? Do we have questions? Do people have questions that they want to ask? Or if you don't want to verbally ask your question, you could just send it to the chat. Okay, if you're writing in the chat, if you have a question and you're writing in the chat, please indicate by sending a meme or something so that I can know that I'm waiting for somebody that is writing something. Okay, I want to believe that nobody's.
Thank you, Mr. Ladi.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. That was really a good, interesting session. I just have a contribution to make. Is that all right?
That's very good. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen that from research, schools, let's say international best practices, schools in the West have a way of safeguarding children in schools. And it's a kind of thing that the government has, it's a policy, safeguarding policy and practice. So every school that recruits teachers, every teacher that comes into that school will have to undergo a training called the safeguarding policy. It's a kind of training, teacher training program, so that teachers can be aware of, all these points you've noted and how to, identify and help the children, that falls prey online and all that. So it's a total package. If we can have that kind of thing in Nigeria that schools will be aware, because some teachers, believe it or not, do not know that it is their responsibility, aside from the parental point of view, even in schools. So, some people do not know. They just, even bullying, as you know, as terrible as bullying is, some teachers take their eyes off, they look away. So to prevent this kind of thing, I've seen that I've come to discover that schools overseas have what they call safeguarding policies, and it includes all the forms of abuse, the physical, the neglect, the emotional, the sexual, including cyberbullying and protection, online safety. So it's a whole kind of a total package, and this kind of program, this platform is a very good platform to disseminate and sensitize teachers, you know, regarding this. So I hope this will be, you know, more teachers will coming into this program. It's a really, really very good program, you know, that teachers can learn for free and update themselves. That's another thing that we need to do, you know, in Nigeria. We need teachers to get interested in professional development, in learning more. So that's just my contribution to that. And I hope to see Nigeria having that kind of policy. They call it safeguarding policy. All schools, irrespective of it is, and it expires every year. You have to retrain. So they give you a certificate after the training, and after 1 year it expires. You have to do another training and pass the exam. So these kind of things we're seeing, international best practices, are the things we should also emulate in Nigeria, and you know, we'll be able to keep track on these children better. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That was a very powerful contribution, and I really side with your opinion. That's very, 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 very important. I mean, that's a very standard way to protect children, especially in the school environment where they're mostly using, you know, the computer and so many other gadgets that they use in the course of learning. Thank you so much for your contribution. I really appreciate it. Okay, V. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, yes, we can hear you now, Vivian.
Okay, so Mr. Ladi, sorry, I made you the host because I'll be stepping out I'll still coming. Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Ladi, for the presentation. Yes, thank you so much. That was awesome. Sorry, you know, I was actually off and on somehow. But I could hear Mrs. Oyebola when she was talking about, as in one way or the other, trying to encourage teachers, you know, that they should also pay attention to, you know, what is happening.
Yeah, it's true. Thank you. Okay, I think she has online issues. The connection is a bit not so good. Okay, let me just wait for her to come so we know. I think somebody else is supposed to start another session now. So we just wait a minute or two to get the person connected.
Yeah, so sorry, Mr. Ladi, please help me make Roslyn, make her the co-host. I'm having some technical issues here. So help me make Miss Roslyn, make her the co-host.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll need to step out a bit. Roslyn, I would like you to share your screen so that I will know that you are okay before we.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Please, I'm Vivian. I'm sharing from my email.
That's fine.
Okay. I just need a little guide.
Okay, hello? Hold on. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I'm going to be sharing from my email.
Oh, okay. I'm going to make the host. Just hold on, please.
Mr. Ladi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, please, can you make her co-host? Remove me as the co-host and make her the co-host.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that now.
Okay.
Oh, I mistakenly made her the host. Okay. I'm still the co-host anyway. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, you're the host now. Would you may go on now. Go on now.
Okay. Okay, so I have to share now, right?
Yes, you have to.
Okay, please, I just need your guide. I've clicked
Pardon
on the
me?
share and I have option. Hello? Mr. Ladi,
Yeah,
are you
I can
there?
hear you. Yeah, I can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay,
You
please,
said
I need your help right now. I just
okay.
clicked on share and I have option Microsoft Drive, Microsoft SharePoint,
Well,
then
I've
Google
never.
Drive. Can you hear me?
Do you have? I can hear you. Do you have your file in your Google Drive?
No, not in my Google. I just have it in my email. Just write on my email. Open
I've
Microsoft
never
Share.
tried to share from the email, so I'm not so clear about that.
You want to save it first. Save it onto your computer first.
Okay, I think that'll be better.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Did you hear what Vivian
Okay.
said?
Okay, I should save it on the computer. No, I'm using my phone. I'm not using the computer.
Okay, save it
Like
on your phone first. Just download it.
It's download. I downloaded already.
Okay. Is it a
What
is it
format
a
is it in?
PDF file?
Yeah, no, it's on PowerPoint, PDF, I guess.
If it's PowerPoint, I don't think it's PDF. You might not be able to share it. Okay, you
I may
just
not be
try. Have
able
you
to share
downloaded?
it.
Have you down?
Yes.
Okay, now try to share. Let's see if it will work. But if it's, I think if it's just ordinary PowerPoint, you might not be able to share it. You have to make a PDF to be able to share.
Okay, let me try. I'll do that now.
Or better still, you can share your screen. Open the file and then share your screen on your phone. It will work like that.
No,
Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I would have done that. That would have been easier. But the challenge I have is I can't share on my screen. I don't know. I think the app is not supporting.
Oh, really?
Yes. So that's why I have to go through my email.
No. Normally on your phone, if you're connected on Zoom, what you just need to do is press the share. And when you go to share, you can go to screen. When you go to screen, whatever is on your screen will be able to get on. Everybody will be able to see whatever is on your screen.
From the Zoom.
Yes, from Zoom.
Okay.
So open the document on your phone, then go back to Zoom. When you go to Zoom, share and click on share. When you click on share, scroll down and click on screen. Whatever appears on the screen of your phone will come up there for everybody to see.
Share. Okay, I'm there. I'm looking screen.
Screen. Have you seen screen?
Yes, Zoom will start capturing everything that displays allow.
So allow it, and then you quickly go to that file, open it, and we'll all be able to see it.
Okay. Let's see. Well, I'm seeing other options, but not seeing my email to enable me to open the file.
No, have you downloaded the file on your phone? You have to download it first.
I did that.
Okay, now open it. Open it before you go to Zoom again.
It's open from my email. That was the first thing I did.
Okay, you
So now
mean the
I'm
document?
back to my email and the document is open.
Okay. Now,
So
what you're going to
I'm
do,
going back
now
to
go to
Zoom.
Zoom. Go to Zoom now. Are you on Zoom?
Yeah, I'm coming out to check, like send. Okay, I have the document is open on my email. I'm having option of download, send file, print, report a problem.
Okay, click on download. Let's see if it's coming to your file manager.
Okay,
So
I
from
did that now. So let me go back to screen.
Okay.
Okay,
Then click on.
I'm going back to screen.
Okay, if you go to screen, it should take you to the last page you opened on your phone.
I'm back to screen and
What does it show? After pressing screen, what does it show?
it brought out option floating window management. So I have option of like other apps. But if only I'm seeing my email from the option, I'll be able to open. I should be able to open.
Wow.
Photos. Okay, let me go back to, I'm going back to my email again. Let's see what the send says, the option of send.
Oh, okay, let's see what it
Send
shows.
file. I'm going back to, okay, send file to.
Okay, yes, we are beginning to see. Okay, stop showing. We are beginning to see something from your end, then it just disappeared.
Okay, because I just clicked on send file and it brought up option WhatsApp, save to drive, Gmail.
Okay. Sorry. Can I jump in?
So what did you click? What did you click on? Because that thing brought it
That
on the
was
screen for
me.
everybody to see.
That was me to see how straightforward it was. So that was me. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay,
if you
it's
go
all right.
to your share, what Mr. Ladi is trying to say, if you go to your share in your Zoom, and you literally click on screen, and it says start broadcast, and you click on that broadcast, we can see whatever is on your screen. So like start reading your email, or rather open your document, then go back to Zoom and share.
I'm back to Zoom.
Have you opened your document? It should, even if it's just your email that you've opened, it should show it. Normally, once you click on screen, it should just go to the last page on your phone.
Okay, I'm trying to.
Have you been able to get anything?
No, let me go back to my email again, where I have my documents. I'm so sorry for this.
It's all right. I'm really so surprised that it's not just bringing out your page. Normally, if you go to share, I click on it, you scroll down to screen. And once you press that screen, whatever, even if you have not opened your mail and you just have that page of the mail, it will show that page. If you open it,
that's what it's supposed to be, but
I'm surprised it's not working like that.
That's what it should be.
Rosalind, when you click on screen, what happens on your side?
Yeah, it gave me other app option, but it didn't bring out my documents.
So when you went to share and you saw screen, you clicked on screen and it said share from the apps available, but it didn't bring out email. But that's not what sharing screen is about. It's supposed to show whatever is on your screen.
Exactly.
You get, Miss Rose? So forget about the options, because I can see what you mean. Under my screen, I see photos, I see iCloud, Dropbox. Leave all those ones. The first option should be screen. Check again.
Yeah, I'm even trying to get my screen here. Okay, so right now I just clicked share. Are you with me?
Yes, we are with you. We can hear you.
Okay, I just clicked on share, and the option it brought out Microsoft OneDrive, Microsoft SharePoint, Google Drive, Box, Photo, Documents. So let me click on, then screen.
Scroll. Scroll.
Screen. So I have to click on.
Can you scroll down? Can you scroll down?
Yes, I've just scrolled down. What I have is share whiteboard. That's the last option, share whiteboard. Then let me click on my screen. This is really strange. Okay. Zoom will start capturing everything display. Yes, I just clicked on my screen. Yes, and what I have is just the app like Bible Word Puzzle, Clear Scanner, Duo, Facebook, other apps.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. Do you know what? Let me try and do that for you to see. I'm going to click on share on my phone now. Are you watching, Rosalind?
Okay, hold on. Yes.
Okay. I press share on my screen now. And these are the options I have. Microsoft OneDrive, Microsoft SharePoint. Yes, I'm scrolling down. Google Drive, Box, Photo, Document. I'm scrolling down, web URL. Then I get to screen. I click on screen.
Okay.
Then it brings out start recording or casting with Zoom. And then at the bottom, I see cancel or start now. I'll click on start now. And can you see my screen? Can you see all the things I have on my screen? That's what you're supposed to get to. Then I'll now click, if I have anything, for instance, if I want to share from WhatsApp now, I'll just click on my WhatsApp. Can you see it has opened my WhatsApp? Can you see it?
Okay.
It's just supposed to be as simple as that.
Yes, that's what it should. You are right. But I'm not seeing my own email. Like I'm supposed to share from my email. I cannot share from my WhatsApp because the document is not on the WhatsApp. So it should be my email.
There are two things that Miss Rose keeps saying that makes me believe that something is going on.
Wrong.
She keeps saying my screen. So not your screen, the screen option under share, right? So is there a screen option under share after you go to Mr. Ladi? If she has to try, then you have to stop your own share.
Yes, I'm trying to go out.
Okay. Nice picture.
Thank you so much. I'm almost lost. I'm looking for Zoom now. Okay. I've stopped sharing.
Right. So Miss Rose, if you go to your share, click on share.
Okay, I'm just right in front of my share. Let me just follow your process. I'm right. Okay. I can see my share.
Click on it.
Click. Okay. Yes. I just clicked on my share.
Okay. What do you see?
I have Microsoft OneDrive, Microsoft SharePoint.
Right. Scroll down.
Scroll up so you can see what's
scroll up rather.
Okay. Yeah. I've seen screen.
Okay. Click on it.
Then Zoom will start capturing everything that displays on your screen.
Yes.
Allow. Okay. So I now have under the allow, then the what's it called? It opens something like floating window manager. Then I have other apps below, like beneath it. So under it, the last one is Zoom.
Have you clicked allow first of all?
Yes, I've done that.
Okay.
So under allow, it gives me I'm having like almost 10 to 8 apps.
Okay.
Starting from Bible word puzzle, Clear Scanner,
Okay.
Facebook.
Okay. Choose one. Choose anyone that you feel you can open safely. Rather, that is not private. Just choose anyone. Let's see.
Okay, maybe I should choose the Zoom. Is that appropriate?
They
Okay,
put
try it,
Zoom
let's
there.
see.
Okay, choose the Zoom. Let's see.
Okay, I just clicked Zoom now.
Okay.
Did you see any display?
We have not seen anything yet.
What's happening? God. No display.
Okay, choose something else because I mean there's nothing
Okay,
on
what
your
about
screen in Zoom.
Telegram? Telegram.
Okay, choose Telegram. Let's see.
Okay, I just clicked Telegram. Did you see any display?
No, nothing here.
Does anything come up on your own screen when you choose all these things?
No, nothing. I just clicked and nothing came up.
That's really strange.
Absolutely nothing.
Now, did you send your file to
Shall I start
Vivian?
screen sharing? No.
Oh,
You
yeah,
said-
yeah,
Alright.
you can see you now.
Now you can open your email, Auntie.
Can you see me now?
We can see
Yes.
you now.
Open your email now.
Really? Why am I not seeing it?
Don't worry.
Okay, let me go back to my email. Thank you. You see my presentation?
You're
No, we are
on your way to
you have gone to
open it.
Gmail now. Okay, yes.
Mhm.
Social skills in the digital
Oh, yeah,
world. Yes, we can see it now.
No, wow. So what happened? Thank you so much.
Maybe it was taking some time to
Maybe
maybe it was taking some time to really get configured.
I know that there's something is wrong. It shouldn't take this time. Anyway,
Oh,
thank
thank
you.
God we're
So
finally here.
Thank you so much. Nice having a tenacious team like you. I'm grateful. Good evening, everyone. My name is Roslyn Ayaun. So right before me, I'm going to be presenting social skills in a digital world. I know I've used some of my time for setting, so I'll try as much as possible to meet up with time, so I won't encroach into other people's space. Yes, what do we mean by social skills? Yeah, these social skills are refers to the skills that we all need to communicate successfully and work with others in a functioning society, community, culture, and the world at large. These skills can also be referred to as social competency, which help individuals to understand how to interact with others in a multiple contexts. Like they say, human beings are sociable creative, and we develop many ways of communicating our messages, our thoughts, feelings, such as verbal, non-verbal, gesture, body language, emojis, and personal appearance. So that's that about these social skills. It's actually, in a nutshell, it is what we need to communicate. It's a skill that we all need, regardless of our age status. These are skills starting from baby to infant, just like that to adult stage. These are skills that we all need as humans to be able to communicate successfully with others in a functioning society. Then narrowing it down to digital world. What is this digital world? The word digital world, it refers to the virtual, like the way we are right now. There's a Zoom conference, it's a digital world. I'm in Surulere, some of you are on the island, some are in other states, outside the country, part of the world. This is how beautiful digital world could be. Like it refers to the virtual online space where digital technologies are used to create, store, and exchange information. This includes everything related to computers, laptop, internet. Without the internet, we are not going to be together. Without the internet, there won't be effective communication. So that is the beautiful thing about digital world. In a digital world, people communicate, access information, conduct business, engage in various activities using digital technologies. So like this encompasses various aspects such as digital communication, digital media, social media, and lots more. Then looking at, excuse me. Hello? Hello?
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, so taking it down
Yes,
to
we can
social
hear you.
skills.
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Social skills in a digital world is not just it's not a theoretical concept. It's a practical approach to life, like 100% practical approach to life that requires individual to be aware of the impact and actions on others and their environs. Social skills are essential in building both personal and professional relationships across the globe by demonstrating strong interpersonal skills, which can help us as individuals to accomplish our goals, contribute to achievements. Understanding and improving in social skills attracts a lot of benefits in our every area of life. However, social skills are also referred to as interpersonal and soft skill. So just the way we had today, like I said earlier, the social skills you, I, and every other person is having is actually bringing us together regardless of our background, our environments, our community, where we stay outside the globe. So now taking it down to the most common aspects of social skills in a digital world. Like we have first is the verbal skills. We have the non-verbal skills, collaboration, giving constructive feedback, receiving constructive feedback, integration, manners, leadership, empathy, active listening, understanding humor and emojis. Yes, this most common aspect of skills in a digital world. Sometimes as human, we claim, oh, I know all of this, I have it at my fingertips. But then how best do we utilize it? Yes, everybody have a verbal skill. Not everybody still have the verbal skill. Some communicate verbally, but they don't have the skill of communication. From research, it is observed that so many people actually lost that skill because we don't even know when to cross the T from the dots when communicating verbally. Then we now have the non-verbal skills. Sometimes in the midst of maybe our peers, friends, families, and friends, somebody is quiet, maybe another person is talking, communicating, and the other person is maybe quiet. That does not mean the other person who is quiet, who is not actually communicating, doesn't know where to say. But maybe at that point, this person just prefers to not communicate. And the person is like, oh, that should speak. Why I listen? These skills are very, very essential. Collaboration skills, not everyone have the ability to collaborate with people. They find it difficult. Some people believe it's my word, let me do it the way I want. Teamwork is a no-no for some people. Giving constructive feedback, not everyone. Sometimes maybe in a place of work, organization, family, or maybe in a community, some persons actually want to correct, but giving that constructive feedback, they lack it because it comes with emotions. And it makes the other person to feel like, why did this person have to say this in this manner? Then receiving constructive feedback. Sometimes some people try to correct in a polite way, but sometimes we perceive it in a negative way, that why is she or why is he or she talking this way? So sometimes these skills are very, very vital. And as human, it's important that we all need to have the skills at our fingertips, know when to use it and when not to use. Integration in today's world today. Look at the environment. We have our culture. We have people from different cultural backgrounds, the Igbos, the Yorubas, the Hausa, the Efik, and all of them from different tribes. If we understand the power of integration, I don't think there will be like cultural differences, regardless of the fact that cultural differences exist. I don't think there will be things like maybe like having a Yoruba man fighting with an Igbo person fighting with an Hausa person. As long as that integration is there, it goes a long way, regardless of your background, where you come from. So having this skills are very important, and as human, we should be able to know when to use and when not to use. Then our next slide, we now look at the key impact of social skills in a digital world. One of the key impacts of social skills in a digital world today, we're looking at building relationship. Social skills are essential for building and maintaining a meaningful relationship, even in a digital context, such as effective communication, active listening, empathy, understanding. Nonverbal cues can help foster connection and create a sense of trust and rapport with others. That is building relationship. Then collaboration and teamwork. Like today, many professionals and personnel endeavor to require some collaboration, even if it is done remotely. Strong social skills enable individuals to work effectively with others, navigate conflicts, and contribute positively to teamwork. And this includes, like I said, effective communication, cooperation, and compromise. Then we have the next point of the key impacts of social skills in a digital world: online communication. With the rise of digital communication platforms today, social skills are necessary to navigate and engage in online conversation, just like we are today. Like I said initially, these skills are practical. It's more of a practical thing than theoretical. These are what we exhibit, even without communicating. It just comes natural. These are what is expected of we human beings. So this includes being able to convey thoughts and idea clearly, understanding tones and context, and adapting communication styles to different platforms. Like we have our Facebook messengers. Today, we're all gathering here with Zoom, online communication. I can communicate from my own end to somebody who is in UK, to another person who is in Canada, to another person who is in Australia as a means of this online communication. Then our next point on the key impacts of social skill is digital etiquette. Social skills plays a vital role in practicing good digital etiquette or even netiquette. This includes being respectful, considerate, and mindful of other feelings and privacy when interacting online. This skill helps individuals navigate the digital landscape responsibly and avoiding misunderstanding or conflict. Like looking at the digital etiquette, having good manners online. Sometimes we see some people, the way they approach other fellows online, you're like, wow, is this person trained? Like, where is this person coming from? Do you reason your thoughts at all? Or looking at the digital etiquette, like the proper rules of behavior online. There are 1,000,001 behaviors online, but then it has come to notice my own personal observation, like some of us don't even know when to use this rule. We just felt, okay, this is an online thing, regardless of who I'm talking to, I don't care. I just have to exhibit that negative behavior. Then another point is another key impact of the skills in the digital world is online personal branding. In today's digital world, individuals often curate their online presence and personal branding. For instance, like we have millions of people who are multi-millionaire, multi-billionaire as a result of online branding. Social skills are crucial in presenting oneself authentically. But then I've come to realize, my personal view, that with the help of this online branding, we find out that so many people are even fake online. But then what is this rule of these social skills? It says, as long as you have your branding online, you have to be authentic. But you come to realize that a lot of people, some people in this market are not even real. Some are scams, some are fraudulent, using other people's accounts to make money from other people. Why? Because they feel they don't understand the role of this impact of digital world. Some just feel it's an avenue to dupe, and by the end of the day, they go away with it. Then mental well-being, another key impact of being in a social world with the help of this, in a social world with the help of the internet, our well-being is mental well-being is very, very important. Here it says that social skills help to contribute to our well-being, even in a digital context, connecting with others, expressing emotions, receiving support are important aspects of maintaining positive mental health. Developing social skills allow individuals to form meaningful connection and seek support when needed, even if it is through digital world. This offers new challenges and opportunity for social interaction. I've seen some people, maybe when they go through challenges, they come online, they come online and they just maybe cry out loud. And before you know it, millions are supporting, thousands of individuals supporting this group of people as a result of coming out online, to pour out their emotions. This is what they are passing through, and lots more. So to a certain extent, it's supporting this digital skill is supporting, and it is still supporting millions of people. But sometimes in life, we still have to understand the advantage and disadvantage, because sometimes, yes, looking at social skill, like coming online to seek maybe for support, sometimes some individuals abuse these opportunities. Some might be legit in coming out to say, oh, please, I need support. I'm having issues with my business, or I need assistance. Some that are the bad ones use their influence to affect the good ones that are legit. But to a large extent, as human, it's advisable to just key into those positive aspects and shun the negative one. Then another aspect is Okay, then we'll move to why social skill is important into this world. Like I have here, it helps us communicate more effectively and efficiently. It build, maintain, and grow relationship with colleagues, clients, and new contacts, even in the midst of peer group, in classroom, in corporate world, wherever we find ourselves. Social skills help grow relationship. Then another point is it communicates your need and wants clearly and effectively, have a better and potential relationship. It also helps navigate tricky social situations, be considerate for career opportunity. It makes you feel happier, ability to use one's initiative to solve practical solutions to problems. Sometimes we have maybe like little challenge, we come online, we share it, and you have different opinions. Like they say, in the midst of nonsense, man still gathers sense. So sometimes some people post their life experience and they just want people to comment. There are some that will be realistic and tell you this is just the way to go about it. Even if it don't make sense, you'll still find one or two sense out of it. Then another importance of social skills, why we need to have the social skill, it helps us gain ideas, information, technique, and it helps us gain ideas, information, perspective from people with different areas of expertise. It provides one's own perspective for the benefits of others. It also helps us to accomplish tasks and collaborate with others towards shared goals. Then it provides mutual support for difficult or hard to navigate situation. It also helps us expand our network to learn and pursue new opportunities. We have so many people in the social world today, laying their hands on different opportunities, navigating, creating new ideas. Like we have like some people who are just content creator, making millions online and so on. And it also helps expand our networks. Yes. Like you have today in today's world, you see the numbers of your fans determine your network today. That's why you see some people who, some content creator today, by the end of their presentation, they'll tell you share and like. Then another one, it gets personalized feedback and referrals. So to a large extent, social skill is very important in today's world. Then lastly, I have my recommendation. And part of my recommendation says active listening. It's very, very important. Like some people listen, but they don't pay. They are not active when people communicate. So for us to be able to fit into the social world today, it's very important to pay active listening, such as it's just a practical thing. Practice active listening by paying attention to others' perspective and opinion, both in writing and verbal communication. Like they say, this will help us to understand and respond appropriately by fostering more meaningful interaction. Empathy and understanding. It cultivates empathy and understanding by putting oneself in other people's shoes, even in online interaction, such as like you recognize that behind the screen, there are real people with emotion and experience. Like I say, in as much as social skills, it's practical, but then behind the digital world is the real life. Behind a digital world, that is the real people. Like when you get to the digital world, you find out that we have some individuals that are not even real, some fake lifestyles, some fake personalities, some even fake the life that they don't even live. But then outside the digital world is the real life. So like one of my recommendations says understanding and empathy. Then another recommendation about social skill in the digital world, clear and concise communication. Ability to express your thoughts clearly and be concise. As digital communication, sometimes it says that we should be mindful of our tones and choice of words to avoid misunderstanding. Like sometimes we want to use some words that to you, it might seem there's nothing there, but to another person, this person might misinterpret this word. So it's always advisable that we should make our language to be clear and to be concise. So even if I don't have to use my dictionary, I can still understand that, okay, this is the point this person is trying to make. Then another recommendation is we should be respectful and construct, we should be respectful and give constructive feedback, such as providing constructive feedback in a respectful manners. Sometimes we want to correct, like, oh, I have a correction. You shouldn't have done this thing this way. It doesn't make sense. but you can just make your correction to be your correction to be well presentable. Like, oh, you've really done well, but I think it could be better if it is presented in this manner, focusing on the issues at hand rather than attacking the person, maybe as a result of personal beef or personal interest. So this will help maintain positive relationship and to also encourage open dialogue. Then online etiquette and digital citizenship. We should be aware of this etiquette, good practice in a digital world. This includes being respectful, responsible, and ethical in our online interaction, such as refraining from cyberbullying or spreading misinformation. And like rightly say in today's world, cyberbullying is one of the key things now. Sometimes some people want to like make correction, but you just come in the way that you have to bully that person and make this person to feel bad or feel depressed. Then another recommendation is balancing online and offline interaction. This digital communication is convenient. One, it is also important to find a balance with offline interaction and engage in activities that also promote face-to-face interaction to strengthen social skill. For instance, like my topic, which says social skill in a digital world, it will be more interesting if we all gather to present this like face-to-face. I'm presenting, you're looking at me, you're looking at the way and the manner in which I'm presenting, likewise other presenters as well. Like it makes it more interesting. Then use appropriate emojis. Emojis can be a great way to convey tone and emotion in a written communication, and it should be used appropriately to enhance clear message. Like just of recent, I came across how emojis landed a farmer into a big trouble. Like they say, like the word, like we all know what emojis are. These are like a little pictorial on our phone, which we use to communicate. And from indication is like we have almost like 3,000 emojis. And in my own understanding, I've come to find out that not everybody knows how to use emojis. Like I said, a farmer who landed himself into trouble in Canada, like a buyer requested for about thousands of flags, and the farmer happened to the farmer responded by using thumbs up. So to the buyer, the person assumed that, okay, that the farmer is going to deliver. But by the end of the day, this person the farmer did not deliver. His thumb up, for him, he perceived thumb up to be, okay, I've seen it. But then there's no further communication, such as, when do you want it to be delivered? So the buyer assumed that there is a deal. And by the end of the day, the farmer was charged to pay the sum of over, I think, like 61,000 Canadian dollar to the buyer as a result of flouting the agreement. So like in Canada today, they see, like today's world, they see emojis as new reality. So it's very, very important that before we use emojis, we have to think of what we want to use the emojis for. Sometimes you see somebody saying, I'm sad, and the other person, instead of person to show some emotions, or hope all is well, can you share your feelings or whatever you're going through? And you see somebody laughing, and the person may not even understand. So this is just like wrong use of emojis. So it's always important that before we use emojis, emojis should be used appropriately. If this person is happy, we share emojis like, oh, I'm happy with you. But this person is sad, there are other emojis which we can use to communicate. Then we have another recommendation is avoid oversharing. Like some people, they don't even know what to share online, and they don't know what to share offline. So it's always important that we should be mindful of what we share online. Not everything about our personal information should be used online. At least there should be a limit, there should be privacy. And another recommendation is we should be responsive. Sometimes somebody will send message, we read it and we ignore. Whereas this message require urgent reply. Sometimes I want to use myself for instance, sometimes I'm guilty about it. Like when somebody sends me and I'm like, oh, I'm going to respond, but before you know it, other activity takes over. So I'm trying to put myself like adjust, like when messages come, it's always appropriate to send the reply with immediate effect. Even if I'm not getting the direct reply, they should be, okay, please give me time, let me work on it and get back. So we should learn to show responsiveness, like respond promptly to messages and be available for conversation when it comes. Like even if we are not available at that moment, there should always be a response to like, can you give me some time? Give me some time, to come in. Then another recommendation is conflict resolution. Disagreement and dissatisfaction can arise in a digital world. But this conflict resolution is the ability to get to the source of problem and find a workable solution. The digital, in the digital world, outside the digital life, there's still fantastic life, beautiful life outside the digital world. The world does not end in the digital world. The real life is outside the digital world. So good conflict resolution skills are very, very important in a social skills in a digital world. Thank you so much. Hello? Hello?
Hello, we can hear you. That was very good. Hello? Can
Yes,
you hear?
please. Yes.
Well done. That was very good. That was very good.
Thank
Okay,
you.
I'll wait for Vivian to come in.
Okay. I hope I've not exceeded my time.
What was supposed to be your time? I think you're supposed to run from 6 to 7, right?
Yes. Okay, this is 6:50.
Okay, you're still on time. It's still about a few minutes to 7, so you're on time.
Okay. So I wouldn't know if you have questions or more inputs on my presentation, social skills in the digital world, questions, contributions.
I think you did so well. You've been able to touch majorly all the areas that would have given concern, and your points were very much apt for the discussion. So on my own side, you've done a great job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was comprehensive. No questions for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Vivian, are you there?
Are you talking to me? I'm coming, please. Yeah, still ongoing. Yes. Good. Like seriously?
Okay, I
Thank
think
you.
we just have a few minutes before the next speaker will come on. It's about 3 minutes to 7 o'clock right now. The next speaker is supposed to come up at 7 o'clock. So we'll just hold on for a few minutes to see how quickly you'll be able to get in. Somebody has been reached out to get his attention so he can come in. So please bear with us and wait for a while. Thank you.
I'm coming, please.
The fish is on fire. So when you are done, I don't do everything. I put to my gift. So when I do, this is encouraging the best. Yeah. I come in and I just myself and for chief, yes. That's the bell.
Hello, babe.
Yeah.
Take the rechargeable lamp for this guy.
All right.
Hello, Rosalind. I guess you forgot to mute. Would you please mute up?
Okay.
The bully will grow into adulthood. The bullied will grow into adulthood as well. But then there is this poor development between both of them. For the bully, the person always sees himself as I'm in charge. I can do whatever I want to do and nobody is stopping me. Now, the bullied is always seeing himself or herself as, oh, let me look over my shoulder in case somebody will come and harm me, in case somebody will come and beat me up. I will not argue with this person because I'm afraid they can slap me. I am afraid they can just injure me. I'm afraid they can stab me or something like that. or the person who has been bullied will see someone being bullied and say, it's not my business. After I was bullied, nobody said anything. So they will grow into adulthood, but their phases of growth will be different and they will still be affected negatively. So now we've talked about the effects of bullying and all the other things, but what solutions are we trying to prefer here? What solutions are on show? So to prefer solutions to bullying and blackmailing is a tall order, mainly because we all have roles to play in making sure that they both do not find their way into our personal lives and the academic lives of our children and learners. So the possible solutions that we give here are not in themselves exhaustive, and further research can be carried out to help children and even adults, especially those who have been badly hurt from being blackmailed and bullied. So what solutions are on show? First thing is to engage your child. How do you engage your child? You have to make your child your best friend. You have to talk to them. You have to know what is happening around them, even the minutest of details, even the littlest of details or events happening in the life of your child. You should be interested in knowing. For teachers, get interested in your learners. Know their names. Know their names. It is very important. You know, one of the schools I taught, some of the teachers will always come to ask me,
Hello,
how?
Mr. John. Mr. John, please, you have like 4 more minutes, please. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
All right, I'll be fast and round up. Okay, so in one of those schools that I taught, some teachers will come to fellow teachers will come and ask me. They'll be like, Mr. John, how exactly is it that you know the names of all these students? You know, they'll call one name and I'll tell them, okay, it's in so class. They'll be like, how do you know that? I say, well, because I'm interested in them. And that helped me to even point out the ones that were not doing very well, the high flyers and the rest of that. And I was able to help one way or the other. The ones that had emotional problems and the rest of that, I was able to help and all of that. So you have to engage your child, know what they are all about, what is happening to them. You have to be a role model. Can they see your life and say, okay, this is how I want to pattern my life? Are you bullying their mother? Are you bullying their father? Are you bullying other students or teachers? You have to be a role model. Now, you have to get educated on everything about bullying and blackmailing.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Hello, hello. Hello. Can anybody hear me? Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me now? Good evening, all. My name is Chijioke, and I will be presenting on the topic personal and professional development of the I generation and investments for the future. Please, can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can see your screen.
Thank you very much. So let's start up. So my topic is personal and professional development of the I generation and investment for the future. So in this topic, we'll be looking at why the personal and professional development of the I generation is important and how it is an investment for the future. We'll also be considering what we need to do for us to achieve this goal of professionally and personally developing the I generation, so that this investment will be made in their future and it will be worth it. So we'll be diving in with our first introduction. So in our introduction, we'd like to know who is the I generation, who are the people or the age brackets that we call the I generation. The definition of the I generation are people that are born between the mid-90s and early 2010. Some also have the school of thought that the I generation are people who are born from 2000 and above. So, but it still has within the same age range of a particular generation. And one unique thing about this set of people is their exposure to technology, their exposure to gadgets, the kind of access they have to gadgets, and how they have that understanding of gadgets more than the generation before them, because they are born into it, and most of the things they learn, they start using gadgets from the toddler stage of their life. The importance of personal development, personal and professional development, this is key to thriving in a dynamic world in the I generation. Because in the I generation, if you do not understand how to use the tools and how to use the right equipment, you will not survive in that generation. So how do you learn how to use the right tool and equipment in anything you are doing for the I generation? Is by personally and professionally developing yourself. And personal and professional development is something that requires constant upgrade. It's not something that when you do, it's not, let me say, it's not a destination, it is a journey which is continuous. So I believe with this, I've introduced the topic, and we'll move on to our next discussion, which is understanding the I generation. Before we can understand the I generation and define how we can make them develop themselves personally and professionally, we need to understand how they behave, we need to understand their characteristics. That's what we call in marketing customer avatar. So we need to visualize an avatar of the I generation and also now use it to understand their characteristics and how they behave. This will also make it possible for us to design or format a template that we use to ensure that they go ahead to develop themselves personally. What are the characteristics of the I generation? One of the characteristics of the I generation is that they are tech savvy, they are adaptable, they are diverse, they are socially conscious. Let's talk about tech savvy. Most people that are born into I generation start using smartphones from their toddler stage. I've seen some toddlers that can even open a smartphone and even watch pictures and use it back. So they are born into it. So these are one of the things that you spot out in somebody of the I generation. And they're adaptable because they can easily adapt to environments, especially environments that has to do with tech, environments that has to do with innovation. They are also diverse because when you are born into the I generation, you need to learn a lot of things. It's not enough for you to be a professional. You need to also understand how to sell yourself using the internet and also how to communicate effectively, both electronically and hard copy wise. They're also socially conscious because they have access to a lot of tools that expose them to social gatherings and social interaction. So they're always eager to socialize because of the kind of communication system they have around them. For example, somebody might not be social physically, but on social media, as they call it, person has a lot of friends and has a lot of people that are clustering around him or her. So whether you take it physically or social media wise, they are socially conscious. There are also challenges that are faced by this generation, one of which is information overload. Most of the people that are born into this generation, because of the access to information, they tend to be overloaded when it comes to knowledge. Sometimes it gets them to the stage of being confused because they don't even know how to apply the knowledge because there are a lot of things going out there on the internet they have access to. But the problem now is how do they filter it and use the right one and apply it the right way so that it will be a meaningful investment in their future. And these are the things that this particular presentation is going to also address. So there's also digital distractions. There are people that are easily distracted, and this generation are people that have access to gadgets and they have it all around them. When they look at their right, they see television sets, see handsets. Some of them might get their priorities wrong by not knowing when and how to structure their timing on the use of gadgets. So the I generation also faces digital distraction. And they also face constant change because the world is constantly evolving. As we have heard of AI, is now a buzzword that is going around everywhere. And every profession is involved. Every profession has to learn how to use or apply AI one way or the other in his or her area of study or professional career. So they are always exposed to constant change. They're always exposed to technology that brings up eruption and disruption. Past knowledge of what we know about it. So we also move on to what is investing, because part of the words in our topic is investment for the future. So what is investing? We cannot talk about investment for the future when we don't understand what is investment. So we are now going to look at what is investment. Investment can be defined as assets acquired or invested in to build wealth. So when you are talking about investment, you are saving up something or you are putting something in kinetic motion that will yield something for you in the near future. So when you are investing in something, you are sowing a seed or you are putting back capital or a fund or whatever. It can be in terms of knowledge, it can be in terms of physical cash. So when you are putting capital to use today in order to increase its value over time, that is also investment. So there must be something you are putting out, something you are taking that pains to keep for you to use it on a later day. So that is investing. So when we talk about personal and professional development, we are investing in the I generation because when we teach them how to develop themselves personally and professionally, it will create people who have that confidence in themselves and people who also know how to go about structuring their life and achieving goals, set goals and targets. So when we understand the investments, and now move on to our next topic, the need for continuous learning. For us to teach the I generation how to personally and professionally develop themselves, they must be exposed to continuous learning. And how and where do they get this? So we'll talk about lifelong learning as a cornerstone. Learning is continuous. As long as you are alive, you have to keep learning. So when we inculcate in the I generation a lifelong learning mindset, to create a cornerstone in their life. So we also have to encourage them to be learning continuously. They also have to understand how to embrace a growth mindset for personal and professional success. Because a growth mindset believes that he or she can learn and he or she can do it. And is not stagnant. The person believes that he should continuously move and not be stagnant in what he's doing. So you have to imbibe in them the growth mindset, which will make them understand that they need to keep learning. Anything you are involved in, you have to keep finding out ways to make it more efficient. And there's a saying that engineering is not about production or design, but it's more about efficiency. So whatever you are into or whatever you find your hand doing as somebody in the I generation, you should know how to constantly engineer that into success, make it more efficient, make it more user-friendly. So that will be an added advantage to you and an investment in your future. Because when you are creative, innovative, and constructive, you'll be able to constantly optimize whatever you're doing and also make it more efficient. So it's also very important that they stay relevant in the fast-changing world, because the world is fast-changing, just as I talked about AI. They need to develop the new skills and upgrade their existing ones. That is the only way they will be able to maintain the pace at which the world is moving. So you also have to teach them how to build resilience by navigating challenges and also understanding individuals that they interact and they come in contact with. They also have to learn how to bounce back from setbacks, because in life there must always be setbacks, and you need to learn how to stand up on your feet and continue. Because without those setbacks, you cannot be able to sit back and analyze your journey and know where you have been wrong and where you need to improve. So you also have to learn and teach the I generation strategies for building resilience. What are the strategies they need to build resilience? You need to have grit, you need to have it. You need to have all the characteristics that will toughen them during adverse conditions in life. And they need to have a mind of their own. They need to know what is right and stick to it. I need to know what is right and stick to doing what is right, no matter how they are challenged or no matter how people bring up things that are not going to be in line with ethics of their profession or ethics of whatever they are finding their hands doing. They also need to know how to care for themselves and seek support. Because there's a saying that we can fly higher on the wings of our predecessors. So when we learn how to seek advice, those mistakes that our predecessors made, we won't repeat them and we'll be able to advance further from that particular point. So it's also very important that they build resilience. And one of the things that will make them build that resilience is by learning how to get mentors around them. And sometimes it might not be direct mentors. It might be mentors that you keep on following their articles, keep on following their write-ups, and also keep on getting their books if they have one. That will build you and also make you not to make certain mistakes that even your mentors made. Another important and crucial thing we need to teach the I generation is how to set goals and how to manage their time. This is very, very important. They need to learn how to set SMART goals, goals that are simple, measurable, articulate, and they are time-bound. And this will make them also know how to structure their life. For example, someone who is a graduate of any particular field should know when he or she should be projecting him or herself and preparing him or herself for managerial roles. So these are things that you teach I generation. These are the things that we teach them when we want to imbibe in them the act of personal and professional development. It will also make them to structure their life and know at every stage what their where they are supposed to be and evaluate themselves properly to know whether they have gotten to that stage. So the goals has to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So I believe these words are self-explanatory, and they need to also know how to manage their times effectively, because if you don't manage your times, prioritize your actions, and avoid procrastination, you might not be able to get to a certain stage in life when you target it, or you might not even have a target for every stage of your life. So that's why they have to understand effective time management. As we have talked about before, they are exposed to gadgets, and those exposure to gadgets can easily distract them or make them not to be focused on what they are doing. So teaching them effective time management, when to drop your phone, when you should be playing games, when you should be doing your homework, when you should be reading further to advance your professional career, will be a very, very, very important aspect of their life that they need to know how to structure. So they also need to embrace technology for development. Because as I said earlier on, the I generation, they are a generation that are surrounded with technology, so they cannot run away from it. They must have to embrace it, and not only embrace it, understand how to use it and apply it to solve their own problems and to solve problems in their career. And understanding that will be knowing how to use technology to develop themselves further, that is personal, and professionally how to also use technology to advance their professional career and also make their profession more efficient. They also need to understand digital innovation and transformation. I write a lot about digital innovation and transformation on my LinkedIn page because it's an essential tool that the I generation cannot run away from. You need to understand how to be creative using digital tools to transform and innovate in order to advance their career and personal life. They should leverage on technology for learning. For example, there's what we call gamification, where the I generation are people who are exposed to games and electronics and coding and programming. So if we can structure or teach them how to use gamification to improve learning, we will be teaching them how to leverage technology for learning too. Because when they use gamification for learning, it will be easy to assimilate that knowledge while entertaining themselves and also entertaining others as they learn. They should also know how to get involved in online courses, virtual workshops, and educational apps, because I've met some people who will tell you that they can't learn online. But the way things are going today, every learning will soon be done online to a higher extent. I know that there are still some learning that needs physical presence, but the concept of learning in the cloud, where you store up learning materials in the cloud, and people from all areas of life and people from all regions and geographical spheres can easily access it. That is where the world is getting to. We also need to teach the I generation from a tender age how to source for online courses, where to get those online courses, and how to participate in virtual workshops, and even how to use educational apps. Because when we teach them all these things and they are able to understand how to use these things, they will also be able to understand how to apply it in their own field and personal life for further development. They should also know how to use social media strategically, how to build a professional brand, and how to network. Because there's a saying that everybody sells. And some people will tell you they are not marketers, they hate selling. But the truth is that everybody sells. Because when you go to school and you graduate, either you decide to work for yourself, be an entrepreneur, or you decide to work for somebody. When you want to work for somebody, definitely you go for an interview and you have to sell yourself. You have to tell the person what you can offer. You have to convince the person that you are a good market. And that is being strategic in understanding how to sell yourself. And social media nowadays is one of the key tools that we can use to sell ourselves. For example, LinkedIn. Most people that stay in UK tell you that when they go for interviews, that the first place their employers go to check them up is on LinkedIn. So they also need to understand the right way and the ethical way of using social media to improve their brands, improve themselves. There's a kind of target you have for your life. You can't go to social media and be showing yourself in a semi-nude way or using drugs. You are demarketing yourself, and as they will always say, that the internet never forgets. In future, you might find it hard to get certain level of life that you want to get to because you have totally ruined yourself on social media. So teaching them how to use social media strategically will be also an important factor on embracing technology and knowing how to embrace it the right way. And when they do that, they'll be able to build their professional brand and network with the right people who will make them get to their destination, who will make them get to their desired stages in life on time, right? We also need to teach the I generation emotional intelligence, because when you are in school, you'll be judged by how you can write, how you can memorize, how you can recite, how you can read and give it back to the lecturer. But when you start working with people, you also need to get that emotional intelligence. How do you handle people? How do you react? When people are trying to trigger you, how do you comport yourself? So the same way you understand emotional intelligence, that's the same way you will apply it to your life and apply it to people you find yourself around. It will also make you as a person in the I generation to be self-aware. You will be aware of yourself and know your limits and what you can do and what you cannot do. It will also make you to know how to treat others, because when you have that empathy and when you have that self-awareness, you'll be able to know how to treat others. You'll be able to know how to motivate. You'll be able to know how to interact with people. Your social skills will be improved. And the importance of emotional intelligence and not be overemphasized, because it builds meaningful relationship and it also enhances communication. Because when you understand the human psychology and how people behave and how they relate, it will enable you know how to communicate with them. Because every organization has their own communication ethics. It will also make you know how to communicate even with your boss for you to get the right things you need from them, and get the right advice you even need from your mentors. So all these things will also be very important when we teach them how to adapt to changes. So we should know how to adapt to changes, as we talked before. They should know how to be flexible, and they should know how to thrive in the ever-changing world. That adapting to changes will also make them to be dynamic when it has to do with things that has to do with their profession and their career. They also need to imbibe diversity and inclusion. Just as the saying goes that the world is now a global village, you should be able to, as a person of the I generation, know how to understand diversity, know how to communicate with people from different cultures, because people from different cultures also have their own mindsets and how they relate with people. So you should also know how to relate with people, tolerance, have that tolerance, be devoid of ethnicity, tribalism, or racism, in as much as we have it all around us and we might not be able to copy it totally. But when we create that awareness in the I generation, it will go a long way in eradicating it to a large extent. So when they embrace diversity, their level of tolerance will increase and they'll be able to tolerate people from other different races and tribes. You should also understand how to look at things from different perspectives. It will enable them to know how to be creative and how to be critical thinking. And when they are able to look at things from different perspectives and weigh it on the altar of critical thinking, it will enable them to foster inclusive environment, because they'll be able to tolerate people and diverse views that they bring in their life. And when this happens, it creates the ability to work in diverse teams and also to be able to survive in a workplace that is diversified with people from different walks of life and cultural understanding. So we're wrapping it up by saying that before we can equip the I generation with the right skills, we cannot omit the fact that we have to teach them how to be leaders. That is developing their leadership skills, because at the end of the day, they will take over from the previous generation and they should understand how to lead. They should understand how to be leaders and not to be bosses. So teaching them and developing their leadership skills will involve cultivating leadership qualities in them from the early stages of their life. They should know how to take on leadership positions, know how to take decisions, know how to communicate the right way to people that are leading. Because when you are leading a group of people, they are coming from different backgrounds, they are coming from different culture, they are coming from different ethnicities. You should know how to communicate to them to understand you and know how to make decisions that will carry everybody along and that will also make you as a leader to achieve your goals and aim in life. When we equip the I generation with all these skills and we cap it up with leadership skills, I believe that we'll be handing over to a generation that will be proud of and that will know that will do better than the previous generation, because every generation prays that the next generation that will succeed them will do better. We also have to teach them how to inspire others, because a leader inspires. A leader inspires by taking the bull by the horn and leading. A leader inspires by showing example. So when we want to inculcate that leadership skills in them, we also have to teach them how to inspire others, not to demoralize them, not to feel that because they are a leader, they are above them in thinking, they are above them in mindset, they are above them in everything. You should understand how to inspire, because when you inspire people, they act and give you what you want based on inspiration, not based on forcing them to act. And when you are not around, they will leave every other thing that you've envisioned to achieve. But when you inspire them, they will work with inspiration. And anyone that works with inspiration doesn't wait for the leader to be around for him or her to take on his or her responsibility. We also need to empower the I generation to become future leaders by giving them all these tools I've mentioned above, and by also being open to mentor them. I know that mentorship is not easy, but we should also keep that opportunity for us to mentor them. For example, in my career as an engineer, I've mentored a lot of young people who are in the I generation. One of the things I find out that they find difficult is to understand science and some engineering things from first principle, because most of them are exposed with softwares. They just jump in and use those softwares, get results that they do not critically understand how it is gotten from first principle. So I told one of them that science is a revelation. So before you can understand certain things about science, or even certain things about the future, you need to have that revelation. So one more thing that we also need to equip the I generation with is how to do what we call SWOT analysis. By SWOT analysis, I mean how to sit down at every point, milestone in their life or journey in their professional career to know their strengths and know their weakness, know the opportunities that they are exposed to at that moment, and know the traits. By doing that, they'll be able to structure themselves, know where they are doing well, improve on it, know where they are having shortcomings, work on it, and know where their challenges are coming from, and know how to tackle it. So I believe I've really exposed this topic on I generation, personal and professional development, and investment for the future. Thank you very much. If there are any questions, I'll be very much happy to entertain them and to give my response. Thank you. Hello, any questions, please?
Yeah, for me, I don't have any question.
Mr. CJ, your session was quite interesting. It was good. And it made it very easy and clear for someone to understand. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Hello. Okay, Ms. Vivian, over to you. In the absence of any question, I believe I've done justice to this topic on personal and professional development for the generation and investment. Thank you very much.
Okay, yeah, CJ, thank you so much for that presentation, even though I didn't start from the beginning.
Hello. Okay, please, I have a question. Good evening.
Okay,
Yeah,
go
good
ahead.
evening, Mr. Wale.
Introducing the young ones to the iGeneration environment, so to say, technically or digitally, how can we guide them appropriately? Okay, on what to do, how to do it with our presence or in our absence. Do you understand my question?
Yes, you said, how do we guide them on what to do and how to do it in our presence and in our absence?
Yes, while we tend to introduce them to the opportunities that are available in the digital world in our presence now.
Okay, thank you very much. Are you through with your question?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. As you asked what to do, how to do it in our presence and in our absence. For me, to tackle that particular question, I will look at it from the moral view first. Why I will look at it from the moral view is that people are better structured when they are growing up at a tender age, because that is when you will build the right moral ethics. And the moral ethics or moral background we tend to get most times from Africa mostly comes from either our religion or our family or cultural background and awareness. So for us to also build that morality in the iGeneration, for us to also teach them what to do and how to do it, we must start from building that moral background in them. Why did I use that moral background as an instance? Because there's a saying that there is nothing good or bad, but thinking makes it so. So you should be able to program in their mind the need to be morally upright. And when they are morally upright, they will be able to stand their grounds or certain things. Do it not because you are using cane or you are forcing them to do it, but because they understand the implication and how it will tell on their future if they do the opposite of it. So when you teach them using that principle, they will be able to also know that, look, this thing I'm going into is not going to help. It's going to affect my life and my future. And I have a vision. I have where I'm going to. I don't have to follow somebody that doesn't have where he or she is going to. Let me give you an example. For example, when we are growing up there, we had some of these American rap stars and musicians that were popular. yes, most of us then we vibe to their songs, we listen to their songs, but you should also ask yourself, do you listen to their songs as entertainment, or you are listening to their song because you want to be like them? Because some of them, their moral lifestyle was not something to be emulated. Yes, they sang songs and they made money and people enjoyed the song, but we then, for people that had that understanding and critical thinking about morality, will ask yourself, do I want to be like this person? Am I going to emulate smoking or some other habits that are dirty that this person is imbibing in? So when you teach your children that no matter how you get access to the internet, get access to phone, there are certain things you shouldn't do because it's going to affect your life. There are certain informations about you and your family that you shouldn't give out to people, no matter how good they appear to be, because you don't know them and you don't know their moral and their principle, their ethics that they have or they believe in. So when you tell them all those things from the tender age and keep nurturing them, by the time they get to adulthood, you would have formed a mindset that will make them to be able to think critically on certain issues and be able to do the right thing even when you are not there. It will mold their mindset so that when you are present, they are doing it not because they are scared of your actions, that if you find them not doing it, you discipline them, but because they understand that this is for my own good, this is for my future. So they will end up doing it whether you are there or you are not there. And at the end of the day, you will also see results. One of the ways you can also imbibe such culture in them is by citing examples with people who are successful, that they should go and read their life history and how they discipline themselves and look at the result of that discipline today. So if you want to be like those people, go ahead and discipline yourself and follow these right footsteps. At the end of the day, you see that you get such results or get very close or similar thing to the result they got. I believe this will be an inspiring way of telling them how to do the right and also doing it because they understand the implication. Thank you very much. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, thank you so much. The answers were good. Okay, and on the other hand, from your slides during your presentation, okay, the I generation are tech savvy, they are born into this technology, they are explorers, and so on and so forth. But is there an age bracket where one can start introducing them to the larger digital space?
Okay, okay, thank you, Mr. Wale. Are you true with the question? Can I go ahead?
Please go ahead.
Okay. Yes, if I'm to tackle that based on region and civilization, there is an age of consent for different environments. But I believe in Africa, or will I say in Nigeria, is around 18 years. There's something I had one certain time, I read online, I don't know how true, I didn't go deeper to investigate, that some people that are the producers of these gadgets we use today, Apple and Microsoft, that they prevented their children from being exposed to it while they were still with them, while they were not yet matured, or let me say, while they've not gotten to the age of consent. So I believe there must be a reason why they did that. If I would answer that from my own understanding, I would say that before the age of consent, those things should be used under regulation. For example, if you need, they need to have access to a laptop that connects to the internet, they should be in an open place where they'll be to make them conscious of what they're doing with it. It shouldn't be allowed to use it in privacy. And also, if they are going to have access to phone for reasons maybe best known to their parents, maybe for security reasons, or maybe to get in touch with them if the parents is not around, the parents can also put some Google and get some softwares that will monitor what they're doing and also checkmate what they can have access to if they must use it before that age of consent. But as I said earlier on, when you nurture their mindset from childhood, in as much as they want to explore, there will be some peer pressure. But when they get that hold of themselves, there's a saying when in my secondary school, they say, remember where you come from, wherever you are chance to go, or hold a supremacy to do or to die for the right. So when you inculcate in them that mindset of remembering where they come from and where they are going to, not only where they come from, because where they come from might not be that wonderful, but when you tell them, this is where you come from, these are the values that we cherish and we stand for, and this is where you are heading to, it will also make them, even when you are trying to introduce them to those gadgets, to be conscious of things they do and to make sure it doesn't contradict with the values you have been instilling in them. So to summarize your question, I would advise that at a certain age, maybe before 18 years, because most children that get to 18 years now, they are getting into university or they are going out from their parents' and immediate environment, you might not have access to them. But before that age, you should control their use of gadgets. I'm not of the school of thought that they should have access to a gadget that they use private. So maybe as a parent, when they get to that age when they can operate, you can allow them use your phone, or you get a second phone that you have access to that they can now use and maybe practice or get in touch with some apps that they need. Or it should be under parental control, not leaving it to them as their own personal and private. So thank you very much. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Hope.
Okay, Mr. Chijoke, thank you so much for your presentation. The little I joined, the little I could listen to, it was awesome. Trying to let us understand what it is, being online, leaving our children online and all that. So thank you for that presentation. I hope Mr. Fani, I hope Mr. Fani is ready for us. Mr. Fani, are you there, please?
Yeah, good evening. I'm here.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
Good evening. Well done.
Okay. All right. Welcome, Mr. Fani. I don't know if you are ready because the floor is now yours.
Okay. Thank you. So I can share my screen from here, right?
Yes, sir.
I can share my screen from here. Thank you very much.
Yes,
okay. All right. Let me say good evening. The last speaker, I want to say well done to how you did justice to the topic, contributing to what we have on ground. So I'm trying to share my screen right now. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir. I can see it.
Thank you. Okay, good evening, but I also say good day to our viewers and our listeners. I know that we do not have only Nigerians streaming. So I want to say good evening, and I hope that you have been positively impacted ever since we've started. I reside here in Nigeria, and the project manager, but the foundation, which is still relevant to date is that I'm a teacher and I'm proud. So I've been a teacher for like 18 years now. And one good aspect of my experience in teaching is that mentioned that I've not been opportune to actually take as a teacher. And I started kindergarten, nursery 1, nursery 2. Preparing students for university examination. And even undergraduates, I've been opportune to take a couple of them. So while we talk about students, we talk about this generation in particular. I think I've experienced a lot. And the high generation that some people fondly call a Gen Z, generation, the students are quite sensitive, and it's quite unfortunate that many parents, teachers, and people that want to be a good model to these children are not really aware of what is actually going on. So if we try to actually give everything an approach of where we are coming from, all our background, we may actually get some things wrong about these children. And that's why it's very important that you learn about them and you learn about their traits, and you see a little different, use our own child with them. So the topic I'm doing justice to tonight is useful signs of a bullied and blackmailed child. And it's not just something theoretical for me. It's something that personally I've experienced growing up, not really focusing on the cyber aspects now, but when we talk about, bully, we talk about blackmail, it does not only reside online, it also exists offline. I see that there is no way we are going to talk about the online, happenings of bully, blackmail, without really digging deep to the offline, because the research actually shows that these actually happen hands in hands. So a child that is undergoing offline, online bully, when you check it very well, that child must also be going through some offline bully also. The only thing that I want to actually achieve through this topic is just for us as parents and as teachers to be highly sensitive that not only offline, that bullying now also happen even online, and a child can also be make me also to expose some fact that the fact that we actually, sensitizing parents, that we are sensitizing teachers, does not actually, exonerate them from people who could actually be into a child. And as a teacher, I've grown to be so mature in teaching field. I've grown to, correct some mentalities. I've grown to, accept some realities of time, for us to know that this generation is actually different. So as a child, as a teacher rather, you may be blackmailing or even bullying a child unknowingly. And as a parent, you must also be, you may be bullying your child, thinking that you are correcting that child. So don't let our mind only be limited to, when you hear about bullying, you hear about blackmailing, or you say, oh, it's among the students, okay, fellow students, peer pressure and all that. No. It's not limited to that. It can actually come from an adult, even to a child. So let's begin. So officially, I'm welcoming you to this beautiful presentation. I call it beautiful presentation because I take it so personal, because practical to me. So I want to promise you that it's going to be an impactful session, and that's for you to pay attention to all the slides. Else, I connected my emotion to them. And I tried to be as realistic as I could be. So I want you to be ready that after this presentation, you are going to work on hours to make this world a better place for this I generation. So let's look at some definition of terms. I'm going to be talking about signs because the topic says, what are the signs that you can see by a child that is bullied or a child that is being blackmailed? So when we talk about these signs, we are referring to indications, we are referring to symptoms, we are referring to hints. Okay, so when you see somebody who is sick, okay, the person doesn't just fall sick. There must have been symptoms, you know, that will be showing you that, oh, something is coming or your body actually needs help. So this before the unexpected actually happened. Trust me, when you see people that fall sick, there must have been some symptoms that you have neglected. And it's because you neglected it, your body is not willing to take care of the symptoms. If you could notice the indications early, or you could pay attention to all these indications and hints, you may be able to actually avert the sickness. And that's why it's very good for us to understand. So blind. So still talking about the definition of terms, I will also be talking about what does it mean to bully? What does it mean to bully? To bully someone means to seek to harm or intimidate or coerce someone perceived as vulnerable. And that's what we should pay attention to. You know, most of these children that get bullied, they get bullied because the bully actually observe that these people are vulnerable. The vulnerability might be because of the child is actually disabled, or you believe the child is actually weak in terms of strength compared to you, or if they even notice that that child is actually emotionally weak. So a child can actually get bullied. A child can get bullied because it's the most pretty in the class. A child can get bullied for being the most brilliant child in the class. Okay, a child can get bullied, you know, for any, you know, unreasonable, you know, reasons that we may actually give. A child can get bullied for bringing expensive things to school, or, you know, seeming to have the richest parents. So there are so many funny reasons. So we should not look at it from the negative aspect. Even from the positive aspect, a child who is actually doing well may get bullied for it. Okay, and like I said, as I'm actually talking on this topic, don't let our mind first be focused on things that are actually happening online first, because this topic, if you don't actually understand what could actually happen offline, trust me, it may be impossible for you to relate it with what the children may be exposed to even online. And another thing that is actually important for us to actually note is that offline, like I said earlier, and online, you know, happenings of bullying and blackmailing actually happen hands in hands. So when your child is being bullied online, trust me, if it's happening among his peers or our peers in school, and when that child gets to school, is going to continue offline. So that doesn't mean that what the child will actually, be free offline. So when someone is being bullied, it means that what the person actually appears to be vulnerable to those bullying him or her. So the other very wonderful thing for us to understand is being blackmailed. And what does it mean to be blackmailed? So being blackmailed means to demand money or another benefit from someone, okay, in return for not revealing, compromising, or damaging information about them. And the funny thing is that many of us may think that, oh, these children, what do they know? How can a child that is a teenager, 13, 14, 15, be doing such, that will be demanding money from another, students? Well, I want us to leave the adults being involved. Let's talk about the children. I have seen a lot, okay? Sometimes a student in the class may commit, an offense, and in the quest to actually hide it from the teacher, so she or he will start, have to settle those other students that know about it so that they can keep their mouth shut. And because the child is so afraid to let the teacher know this, is going to pay through his or her nose to keep their mouth shut. And these people will keep on, bringing these threats to his or her face. Oh, if you don't give me, I'm going to tell Mr. A, or I'm going to tell Mrs. B. And because of that, the child will keep paying so that what they can actually keep their mouth shut. So as a parent, as a teacher, you will be seeing the child that, well, the child is still normal, everything is all right. But trust me, a lot is actually going down, is actually happening to that child down there. And you may not understand that you are conversant with what we are talking about, that can get bullied or can get what, even blackmailed. As small as you can think of, those age brackets, even from 10, from 11, 12. I've had a lot. I've, cautioned a lot of students in the class before, and I will catch them that, oh, good. So this is what you have been doing. And I will have to talk to what, even the child involved that is being blackmailed, that if you have told me this thing, your punishment, even if you are going to have any, might just be worse. But look at you, look at what you have been doing, bringing all your actually what extorting you and having to collect all these things from you just because they want to keep their mouth shut. So let's think about, before I proceed, I want us to think about this. If you can hear me, please, I need a voice. Can you hear me? Can someone hear me, please? Someone there listening?
Yes,
Hello?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Thank you. So let's think about this. Did you experience, bully or blackmail in your childhood? Just for us to think about, because this will actually will decide how you relate to this topic. Have you actually experienced being bullied? For me, I experienced it a lot because I attended a boys only in my secondary school. So I can actually tell you that I used to go to school, with lasky. You know what they call lasky? If you are not in Nigeria, you may not understand, but lasky means that the hair in your head is actually being scraped to the extent that the scalp of your head will be shining. So when you go to school with that kind of haircuts, you receive a lot of eating on your head that you may not even know the person that is actually eating your head. Somebody will hit you from the back. When you look at the back, another one is hitting you from the front, like that. So my parents insisted that I must always go to school with that haircut. At a point, I wanted to be refusing, but trust me, because they didn't know what was actually going on. I couldn't tell them that this is what they do to me in school. So I will go to school with that haircut, and there's this guy. Because I used to be the leader of those gangs then. So brutal a guy, so thuggery in nature. His name is Taiwo, and Taiwo would beat my head to the extent that I would be having headaches. Stop this. The only thing he will still tell me is for me to give him a chance to beat me just one more time. So I went through it, and when I hear about a child being bullied, I can actually what relates. Either it's offline or online. So if that question is a yes for you, just as it is a yes for me, so how did that affect you academically, psychologically, and in all ramifications? How did it affect you? When I became grown, I'll just look back and laugh, about the things that I went through. But trust me, if I should see that guy or those guys today, there's no way I would not still remember those incidents. So the question that is the last on this slide is that, why should you be concerned as a parent or teacher or a role model about, a child being bullied or being blackmailed? And that's what we're about to answer. So I want us to think and pause for a while. Why should I be bothered? Well, one of the whys that you should be bothered, or one reason that cap it all, or that others reside under for you to be bothered as a parent or as a child, as a parent or as a teacher or as a role model, is that the negative impacts of these psychological viruses that we call bully and blackmail on a child's future cannot be overemphasized. Trust me, I can't tell you, I can't really give you the, the gravity of the negative impacts that of being a blackmailed as a teenager could actually have on such a child's talk about the child's relationship in the future. Either you want to talk about the child trust me, it's going to make the child to generalize, people being cruel. So when you have so many people being cruel to you, you may generalize that, well, this is how people are. It's just like when you are talking about a child, actually what to refrain from, if it's a girl child, the girl child started refraining from men, thinking that all men are beasts. And that's the way it is with a child being bullied or being blackmailed also. It is a psychological effect. It resides there. The child live with it, and sometimes that can actually control who that child is going to turn out to be. So let's begin to discuss about these signs. Okay, like I said, they are going to be a collaboration of what you can see. Either a child is actually being bullied offline or online. But when it gets to as much as I could. So the first sign that you may begin to observe or notice is the extreme mood swings. And I've seen this a lot actually, when you begin to see a child who used to be lively, who used to be up and doing, answering questions in the class, the morning, after some of them will come and meet me. Oh, how are you doing this morning? Oh, you are looking good, your students complimenting your dressing, asking you, how is your family, how are your children, and all that. So I used to have some children like that, that are very sensitive, and you wonder why they are so mature to that extent to be asking such questions. But when you now begin to see such a student, having mood swings, 1 minute, the child is actually all smiling, doing great and jumping up and down, even playing with his or her peers. And another minute, you just see the child, looking sad or dull. Some of us may just, if you are not of signs of being bullied or being blackmailed, you may not know that being blackmailed or being bullied can lead to a child being extremely going through extreme mood swings. Okay, and when you begin